Welcome. So before we actually configure the second and the third node, I just want to test this single node because right now we have only bootstrapped the very first. So that is the actually, technically speaking, it is the single node cluster. So let me verify that something before we can move on to the starting the MySQL in the second and the third. So let's go ahead, and we already have this, right? So let's go ahead and do MySQL, log into MySQL, go ahead and show the status like WS cluster. As you can see right now, the weight is 1, mean how many members in this cluster right now is 1, or even if you can see that the cluster size is 1 and the status is primary. Please note this is the actual thing. In a Galera cluster, every node is a primary node. Okay, the same data, they replicate that data in a circular fashion, but each node is a primary. Anyone can leave, anyone can join, they all will be primary. And this is the cluster state UUID, this is the cluster size, and the configuration ID. How many configuration we have made so far in this cluster? We have not made any other than 1. And how about tables? Are there any tables? There are certain tables specific to the Galera cluster under the MySQL schema, and you can even run them. Okay, select star from MySQL dot, let's see, Control C, Control V. It should tell that this is the UUID of the cluster, this is the view ID, the sequence number, and this is the capabilities. The view ID I have detailed in one of the coming right there actually in the system lesson. What is the view ID, what is the ID, this is coming up, but for now let me go ahead and what else we need to test, we need to verify. Go ahead and do the, we have done this cluster. Let me see, click on member. It should say I have only 1 member and the node name is gcn1.g cluster. And then if you want to do the streaming, it is coming up in the next lesson, but this is only for to support the big transaction that are greater than of size 2 GB, and this is the new feature that has been introduced in Galera cluster 4. But before we did the second and the third, I just wanted to show you at this moment, at this point, we have a 1 node Galera cluster. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. Let's go ahead and please do exactly the same in node 2 and node 3. The only difference will be for the first node to bootstrap it, we open this, we leave the cluster address nothing, because otherwise it would be trying to connect to the other member nodes. But for the 2 and 3, we want to add all the cluster members here in the second and in the third, and we will start the MySQL service as usual, and then we will see if we are able to join the cluster or not. Go ahead and make these changes there. I will also go and make the changes there, and I will meet you in the next lesson where we will tally, we will compare, and then we'll try to start the MySQL service. And for that, I will see you in the next lesson.